These pictures are of a client friend of mine, Michael Marquart, and he lives in Virginia Beach, and I think he lives right down the street from Surbin. And he's a really nice guy. The cool thing about his studio, his house is on a peninsula that goes out to into the bay. And the house is beautifully done with all the stone. And when he decided to make his own home studio for him to do work, he built a cottage house that was done in the same manner with the stone and the beams and that. And you can see that in the pictures. And you could even see in his studio where his console is, he has these three big slates of rock that are behind the console, and it's a very cool place. And he would always buy the best of the best gear. Um, uh, in one of the pictures, you can see that he has it was a Avid D control, no, a D command. So it was a smaller one. And the funny story behind that, he had he had it on order from another dealer, and it was funny because this one dealer, without naming names, sold him a Trident console. He got it, installed it, turned it on, it caught on fire, and then he was going back and forth with the dealer about taking it back because it wasn't his fault that it did this, and that he was suing the dealer because it was a big mess. And he also had this order on, for this D command. And I had called him one day and I was talking to him, and he says, "Oh, it's so bad that they're backed up, D commands, and you can't get them." I go, "Oh, you can get them." He said, "You mean if I told you I wanted one?" He said, "Yeah." So he said, "George, if you can get me one right away, I'll buy it from you right away." So I ordered it and I had it to him within a week. And he was like, "Oh my God." And I was considered the little dealer compared to this other, huge dealer. But sometimes the smaller dealers, they are not on credit hold and they're doing great and they have a great relationship with the manufacturer. But I got him that console. But later on, there's a picture of him with his API console that he got, which is that's a fantastic console. And then he got there's you can see behind him he has a pair of Genelec 1037s, and he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, I'm looking to get rid of these." And I said, "What do you want for him?" He said, "I don't know. Make me an offer." I said, "I'll give you $2,000 for the pair." And he said, "Done. Just come and get them." And I was like, "Oh, how am I going to get all the way down there?" Because he was in Virginia Beach. But at the same time, Serbin's partner, John Haynes, wanted to buy a pair of, what are they called? 8061s with the subwoofers. So I had to, with Genelec, you have to have them shipped to your office. And then if you want to get them to another state, you ship them to the other state. And I hired a van and I worked out a deal with a client of mine. I said, if you drive these down to John Haynes, Serbin and John Haynes' studio, and then go pick up those Genelecs, I'll sell them to you. What I paid for them, the $2,000. And they said deal. And so that's how I got that whole thing to happen there. And I think he bought a pair of PMCs later, but you can see he also has a pair of Plestids in his room. But it's very comfy studio. It's right by the ocean, down in Virginia Beach. And he also is an artist, and he has a bunch of records out. And he also Michael bought Flight Time Studios in Santa Monica and had that redone. He hired Studio Bowtown to redo the whole place, and he put a big, I think it was a Neve console in there. And he also has a house in Malibu that he had a home studio put in there. I'll see if I can find pictures of all these places, but it's gorgeous, all the places that he has. So there you go.